Yo, guys, we're gonna check out Rassie Rasmus. This is his press conference. He's gonna be reacting to the game. Do catch my reaction on my TikTok, same handle, X reacting to rugby on TikTok. I will most probably post it on the shorts as well. But yeah, before I haven't recorded anything. I always just wanna hear. I am a student of Rassie, guys, so I always like to hear what he's got to say, and then I'll have my thoughts. Yeah, let's jump straight into it.
Boys fought like lions out there in the maritime. It seemed like the ruck contest, the lineout contest, and the maul defense all night long was a problem. The timing of that, such a messy ball behind the ruck.
Yeah, yeah. I think the scrum contest was fairly even. They got up and sometimes. I think the maul, we were pretty static. I don't think they really got a try from a maul, so I think that was pretty. But I think the ruck, as you say, rightly so, was the ball was always bouncy, fast, getting out, a little bit messy. You can actually say, or maybe say it's because of the weather. But New Zealand playing exactly the same weather with the same ball, and their ball was much more steady, and you can't just pinpoint that on Grant. It's the way the ball comes out. And I don't think they did anything illegal there. We just didn't control it well enough. So I think you're spot on.
Yes, you're never going to rock up at Eden Park and deliver first, especially the first half performance like that, and beat All Blacks.
Well, if we give them, I think 14 points, too easy tries. I mean, Malcolm missing a tackle, and we played so well all over. I think what he will accept, I think all of us can accept there was a weird thing what he tried to do with that tackle there. I'm not sure what he tried to do. And the guy just got up and scored the try. So if you're 14 points down and then it's...
Okay, so I'm just trying to read his demeanor. All right, he doesn't. Maybe he's holding himself. I don't know. I can't get a read on his demeanor right now. He's taking quite a bit of accountability. He's not really looking to sort of throw any blame anywhere so far. He does tend to crack later on in the press conferences, but I've just been trying to get his demeanor. How is he feeling? Did he get any answers, or did he get more questions, with regards to just how they're playing and how that game went?
It's raining and you're chasing the game a little bit too, and you're chasing your own tail. But we put ourselves in those positions. But then I thought the guys that we brought energy, brought some fight. I think it was maybe the right thing to have a 5-3 split, because the three backline players that came on really had a good impact. I thought Kova settled down the breakdown. I thought Sasha really was electric when he had the ball in hand, and I thought Ethan was really good in the air for us. So there was many things we got wrong, but mostly just giving them 14 points, then think you're going to still win. Which we almost pulled the draw out at the end, but I think it's now 10 points for New Zealand, 9 for Australia, we in Argentina on 5, so still a lot to play for next week.
On the lineout, it's been a bit of a recurring.
I'm not going to mention too much about the lineout. I am going to share my views a bit after this video, but guys, I don't know, man. Like, it's giving Joseph Dweba's ability to in the lineout. It's like, bro, it's in front of you. Fix it. Or is it not that easy? Like,
it's been a bit of a recurring. How do you get it out?
I think they lost also 3 lineout balls.
We are asking you, Rassie, about your lineouts and the fact that they've been, not doing well for a while. We're not talking about necessarily this game, but the lineouts in general. That is the question. We know that. Come on, man.
It's
Doctor.
I think they lost also 3 lineout balls, so it's in easy conditions.
But do you know what they didn't do? Do you know what they didn't do, Doctor? They did not kick a brilliant 50-22. I know I said I was going to touch on this. I was going to say this on my video. But they did not kick a 50-22 under pressure. And then when they get the line out in your 22, the ball doesn't even leave the hooker's hands, because the hooker does not know what's going on. That did not do. Yeah.
And we try to do plays that we think, not just winning the line-out ball for the sake of winning it and nothing with it, because that's how New Zealand really kind of stops you from get your play going. So every now and then you chance your arms a little bit for trying getting the ball at a spot. I'm not sure. I think we lost 3. But yeah, I think they also lost 2. So it's individual's problem. It wasn't in the conditions, and I think that they more or less struggled the same in the lineouts. Yeah, so
Arsenal
yeah,
was
so we all
dominating,
must
bro.
fix. They
We
must
lost
fix
way
theirs,
more than
and we
three.
must fix ours. Um, and it's group thing. It's definitely not just one person doing something wrong. Sometimes the call, sometimes the throw.
So this is definitely a protect my players approach. Rassie is doing very well in making sure that he's protecting the players. All right, he doesn't want any headlines with regards to an individual that, because that's what this is about, right? This is what the newspaper is going to be writing about as well. So he's doing pretty well with that one.
See any difference next week with the high kicking game for both teams?
I think they were better than us in the high kicking game. I think they did it as much as we did. I think they did it much lower. You could see it was like half punts in between the fullback and the first line of defense, and that was clever, especially in the weather. And they were well prepared for our kicking game. And I think it was two teams who was desperate to win. I think at the end you could see that. We wouldn't have won the game if we were close to a draw. Not that that was any consolation, or I say that we played well at all. They were much better, but it was two teams that was desperate for wins, and I think we both went to very conservative play. Even their tries were from kicking games and one great line-out move at the back. So and ours was like a bit of a rumble close to their try line. So I know it will open up next week. You're gonna if we win, they might be in 11 and we might be on 9, or we might be on 10 and they might be on 10. So it's still a crunch game, and might be just taste rugby. And we've got the weather wrong the whole week. We thought it was gonna rain the whole week, and we tried that today, and it was the other way around. So let's see what the weather.
There we go. That's it. There it is. Hey, there we go. So in their analysis, it was meant to rain the whole week, and it was supposed to be dry on Saturday. So when it doesn't rain Thursday, there's a captain's round on Friday. Surely not. Surely you keep go checking. Bro, what's that? I don't like that, doctor. Look, I know you're gonna say it's not an excuse. I'm always kind of analyzing pieces of information. What is it meant to serve? You say things to communicate, right? That phrase, what was that meant to serve? Because he speaks about how the kicks were smart in the conditions, and then goes on to talk about how they perceive the conditions are going to be. So are we saying what happened? Are the players not adept enough to adapt? I don't think a person can be adept.
In Wellington, but we'll definitely make some changes in our team for this week. We before this game thought we'll go with more or less the same team next week, but we'll make a few changes.
I see.
Okay, few changes will be made. So things to take note of. He applauds the impact that was done by the bench. All right. He then speaks on. I mean, doesn't throw anyone under the bus, but he speaks on the guys coming from the bench. He speaks of how the conditions will probably be different in Wellington. He speaks of how the plan was to wait. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say about the team this week?
We before this game thought we'll go with more or less the same team next week, but we'll make a few changes. But we'll definitely make some changes in our team for this week. We before this game thought we'll go with more or less the same team next week, but we'll make a few changes.
When did that? Oh, bro. When? See, that's the thing. When did that change? Did it change after the game, before the game? I'm gonna guess after the game, after the fact, which then ties in with what I just said, applauding the guys coming on from the bench. So, do we see a Jan Hendrik Wessel start next week? Do we see Ethan Hooker start next week? Do we see Sasha start next week? Do we see Kobus Reinach start next week? I feel like these are changes that are probably going to be made already. Is he throwing that out for these guys to actually have something to talk about, in the understanding that he's not going to throw any player away, but we will, bro. What's going on? I'm just letting you guys into my mind, bro. That's all.
We'll make
So that 14-0 early on, the All Blacks couldn't pull away, and at the end we were one try away from setting things up. Do you see this bit of a missed opportunity in that as well?
Yeah, it's probably looking for positives in the performance, that there were spells that were terrible, but then there were really gutsy spells. I don't think they had a lot of other scoring opportunities apart from the tries that they scored. I thought that really we just gave them maybe penalties away when we were on defense. So yes, us fighting back against the #1 team in the world, away from home. We've got another chance next weekend. So that's something to be positive about, but that doesn't overshadow the bad things that we did in the game. But it's certainly something to build on.
Just so you guys are fully in my head, I'm also taking note. I'm taking note of when Jesse Creel looks at Rassie. Like this, yeah. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys that's all that I'm looking at. I'm also keeping track of when does Jesse look at Rassie after he says what about what he said, or is he just running out of places to look? We don't know.
Rassie, how much did on up the back here? How much did history weigh on your team?
How long before I see results?
Come on, Tai Chi. Bro, do any mixed martial arts, bro. You will lose weight. Stop it.
If we would have won, I think we would have brought it up and said, "Oh, yeah, we beat them for the first time in a very long time since 1936." But the next day life goes on, and you play them again in six days time or 7 days time, and the same with this loss. They kept their record. Well done to them. They're a great team. We always measure ourselves against them. When we wanted to get back into World Rugby in 2018, our big thing was to just beat New Zealand in New Zealand, and they will always stay the big challenge for us. And we've got another go next week. We couldn't break this record, but it
Yeah. Bringing us all back to reality. Whoo! Yeah.
wasn't like we
And look, I'm listening to this from our perspective. Yeah, I'm not really considering, what it means too much that side, because they've also got their own things. Yes, they've defended it, but there've been questions. I mean, after they lost against Australia, they said a lot of things. So it'll be interesting to see how the tones have changed and what the opinions are towards Rico, towards Scott Barrett, towards Scott Robertson. So yeah, that side of the story. He's just bringing us back to reality. Yes, before the fixture, these were all possibilities, and you kind of had to talk to them. But now that we've lost, bro, the fact is we're playing them next week again, and it is what it is. But it's the All Blacks at the end of the day.
built the whole theme around the Eden Park record, because if you don't do it now, are you then disastrous, or do you just have another chance in the rugby championship? So they can be very proud. They defended it really, really well.
How is it that you can find a way to tame those monsters?
Yeah, so the two fast starts was a great backline lineout overthrow, which the guy just spread the guy on the inside. No, there wasn't time even to adjust or to form a ruck. It was just like the previous game where Nick White just had a quick tap and he kicked the ball. There wasn't even a ruck formed for us to get a chance. And the other one was a cross kick, which the guy fielded and really jumped over the guy. So, it's two individual errors, and the others they had to grind for, or they had to get a penalty from the defense. So it's a bit frustrating in the sense that it's never the same guy that makes the error, and it's every time another stupid error that we make. It isn't like we're saying we're consistently making the same stupid error. There's always a different player, a different facet of the game, and as I always say, we pick the players, we do the defense structures. If you, Jerry, in this defense, what can you do about the first and the second try that was scored, apart from the two guys just making the tackles? So, yeah, it's frustrating, and maybe it's to do with team selection. And sometimes we as coaches and management must put up our hands and say, hey, we're getting...
Is it chai for Vili? Right? Vili has got 101 caps now, 102, 101. Is the chai for Vili? From that statement there, is it chai for Vili? Do we go with a Vili who's going to jump over a guy for whatever reason? Or do we just pick a Damian Willemse who can benefit from gaining some confidence in doing things on the field? You said Willemse and Fassi are struggling with confidence. Where are they going to get it from? Nothing. Where? Bro, is it chai for Vili, bro?
It wrong sometimes with combination wise, and of course, if we got it always right, we will be #1 in the world for forever. But we did not get it right in this game, and we'll have to adjust.
Jesse, a lot of teams come down here and they go down 14-0.
And that's interesting that he's saying that, bro, because so he's alluding to that maybe this time around they didn't get the selection right. Okay.
It's a tough hill to climb. You had to lead a comeback and ignite one. What did you tell the guys to stop that and then get back in the match?
Yeah, I think we always knew that New Zealand wanted a fast start, and I think
think it's a group of guys that are always willing to stand up and fight. So yeah, very proud of how the guys came back. I think there was a sense of calmness within the group, whether it be when we were down there attacking or behind our poles after those first two
No,
tries.
no, there was no calmness. There was no calmness. The attempt we had to score a try when we got held up, there was no calmness there. There was no reason for you to continue. You just got a turnover here. Our under 15 coach, now headmaster, I'm not really sure where, school in Durban, not sure if it's Glenwood or Hilton. Mr. Pierre Jacobs, under 15, tells us you get a turnover. The first thing you do is you give 2 passes away from where that mistake was done. Because guess what? That's where the ball was. And the players want the ball. If you want to benefit from a quick turnover, get the ball away. What did we do? We just decided to do 2 pick and goes. Ox tries to go. Was it Rico that just put his arms underneath there? Bro, the traffic is already there. That's not being calm, Jesse. That's not being calm, bro.
And I think, yeah, the great thing about the group is that regardless of the situation, the guys will always be willing to fight. And yeah, I was part of the guys' fight tonight. But then again, we weren't clinical enough. We weren't good enough to win a test match of this magnitude. And credit to New Zealand for the way they played and for closing out that match.
Yeah, wait, now stop walking across the screen. What's your issue?
Ja, om eerlik net te wees, om net positiewe te soek in die wedstryd sal natuurlik wees almal wat sê is met oor julle verloor weg van die huis af met 7 punte. So positiewe is seker dat ons daar nog in die run is vir die Rugby Championship en ons het nog 'n kans om teen New Zealand te speel. Overall dink ek as jy na die 80 minute kyk, was daar seker so 15 regtig swak minute en dit het gelei tot 'n klomp 'n bietjie disbelief in die span en hoe meer ons nader na die halftyd gekom het en weer in die mix gekom het, het die ouens weer bietjie belief teruggekry en ek dink die Saps het regtig baie goeie energie in die game ingebring en op die oomblik was dit 7 punte. So baie teleurgestel. Ek bedoel, ek weet die mense gaan baie gatvol vir ons wees en ek weet ons gaan baie hou vat en dis mos maar deel van dit. Maar 7 dae later kan ons dalk vir New Zealand wen en ons is nog in die mix vir die Rugby Championship. So ja, dis was enige ander verloor. Is nou wel teen die wêreld se nommer 1 weg van die huis af. Maar dit maak dit nie lekkerder nie. Maar dit is nog steeds baie sleg.
Cool. Thank you.
So was that question, that question, was it about what are the positives? Because I just, there's another chance, to play. We are still in it. The reserves came in and had an impact. Something about playing at home. Okay. You let me know if I'm on the right track. But yeah, guys, that is the press conference straight after the loss to the All Blacks in did I almost say Dunedin? Wow. In Eden Park. 51 games unbeaten now. Last time they lost there, 1994 to France. May that continue. Maybe, I don't know. I will now, guys, till the next one.